Okay, so let me go with the Ace of the Success. And there is a reason they call it Ace of the Success. Steps. You need to take a step. Don't skip the steps. Okay? Okay, what's the first one? Just like what Walter mentioned, we need to set a goal. We need to find out why we need to do Atomy. We need to find out what we want in life. But in Atomy, all our common goal is balanced life. And this one already indicate the definition of the balanced life. Live well, right? We really want the financial freedom, right? The freedom of time, and we're gonna love one another, and we're gonna learn. So the reason we're having a weekly meeting, the reason we are attending Success Academy, one day seminar to learn, right? To update with the information and to renew our passion for Atomy, to learn and contribute. And I think Atomy is doing a great job on being a role model, and CEO Hunky Park himself being a role model, how to contribute back to the society who needs help. CEO Hunky Park every month he's supporting 10,000, I believe, 10,000 children by donating $50,000 for the compassion. And recently, Atomy donated $10 million, and Atomy donated, I believe, $14 million to Compassion, the first time in the history ever donated $14 million. So Atomy already doing great job to show us what is the way to live a balanced life. Okay, but your definition of balanced life, my definition of balanced life, it's all different. What you want in life and what you want to achieve in life, we all have a different goals. So to define it or to make it visualize, what do we need to do? We need to create a life scenario. That's why it is important. That's why CEO Hunky Park spending 1 hour talking about life scenario. Once you set up a goal, once you create a life scenario, you will know that Atomy is a must. Atomy is not an option. Right? If you skip this section of setting a goal and just straight jump to creating a list, because I've noticed that some people, you know what, why do I need to set a goal? Why do I need a commitment? Okay, you know what, there are a lot of people in my mind. Let me just write them down first. What happened? They still need to come back to step one of setting goals. Setting goal, in another word, we are finding our big why. Because without big why, when you face a challenge, what happens? You will find your excuses to give up on Atomy. You'll find the reasons to stop Atomy. But for the people who have a big why, doesn't matter how many times you face a rejection, doesn't matter how many times you need to face a challenge, that big why will push you. Okay, just try one more time. Get up and just try one more time. That is the importance of setting up a goal. That's why CEO Hunky Park create a life scenario in a booklet, or we can also in a virtual on the website. So whenever you are finding Atomy hard, instead of complaining, what do we need to do? We need to go back and double check our life scenario. Right? This is what CEO Hunky Park said. If you dream vividly, it will definitely come true. If you move forward with this dream confidently, your future will change. Oh. By who? CEO Hunky Park. Okay, so after the meeting tonight, I want all of us to go back and double check our life scenario. And if you haven't touched it for last several months, probably this is a day that you can change. Or if you notice that something has been achieved already, you can change something else. Okay, so once you set a goal, commitment. Why commitment is important? Commitment, in another word, it's okay, I'm willing to take the opportunity cost. I know the weekend I'm busy with the playing golf, going out with a friend, all of that. But to succeed in Atomy, to show my success to my family, to really make my dream come true, I'm not gonna play golf until I become joining Leaders Club or becoming a Scrum Master. I will not go to parties unless it's a place where I can share Atomy. I will put my focus into Atomy first until I achieve certain goal in Atomy. That's a commitment. I will commit to succeed in Atomy. So why strong commitment is required? Without this firm decision, you become wish-wash. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. With that attitude, like Seal Hunger Park mentioned, doesn't matter how many years you are doing it at Atomy, don't expect to get the desirable income or achieve a desirable mastership in anatomy. Okay. And then I'll tell you why this commitment is important with that later. ACE to success. So with a commitment, what do we need? You need to be the center of your life and you need to have a positive thinking. I don't have to empathize it again. We know how important it is. Atomy is a people business. Let's say, every meeting I have, I always complain about the product. I complain about the CEO part. I complain about, what's wrong with the one day seminar? What's wrong with that product? What's wrong with their compensation plan? Do you want to join the meeting? I'm sure you all are tempted not to. That will be your reason not to join the meeting. Why Ari so negative? She said, she asked us to, let's do Atomy together, but everything she said is so negative. I don't want to be near her. You are going to attract, if you want to attract the people who think positively, you have to be that person first. Of course, we're all human beings, so we do have that temptation of getting those negative thinking, but we as amazing atomians, crazy atomians, we know how to filter those negative thoughts in our mind, right? And by hanging around with those crazy people, I guarantee you that you can eliminate those people with the negative talk and negative thoughts. And it's not healthy for you. Okay. And willing to work hard. I think this is the base. People say, oh, you know what? Actually, no membership, no joining fee, no membership, no monthly fee. Oh, so easy to become successful. I registered two people. I'm just going to wait until those two people become so active. So there are many people that I have witnessed that they think they can make an easy success in anatomy because I'm entering acting business, the threshold it's not so high. But acting is a big business. We're not here to make $60, $70. We are here to create how much? $100,000 monthly passive income. What kind of business opportunity offer you to make $100,000 monthly income? We need to work hard. I'm sure that's it. Even if you invested $1,000 or $2,000 to open up any types of business, you will work hard. Why? Because you don't want to lose that $1,000 that you invested. That we should work harder because we didn't invest anything, but our reward will be so big in anatomy. Don't even think about, you know what? I'm not gonna work hard, but I want that $100,000. That equation doesn't work. We need to work hard. But the great news is, let's say, if you need to work hard, hard, hard for 30, 40 years to make $100,000, I'm sure everybody will say, no, I don't want that. But if you go crazy for, let's say, at least 10 years, in Korea, I heard in Samsung is one of the biggest, like a well-known company in Korea. In order for you to have at least certain pension, let's say 2,000 monthly pension from that company, you know how many years you need to work? 30 years. 30, I believe 30, 35. Let's say 30 years. You need to work 30 years of life in that company for you to be qualified to get that $2,000 pension. But in anatomy, I even seen some people making that auto sales master level, which making minimum $2,000 in a year or even 2 years. They didn't get there just by overnight. They worked hard. They went crazy to share Atomy or build up their consumer base. So we need to make that strong commitment. Doesn't matter what happened, I will move forward to become successful in Atomy. Right? So once that is done, to me, number one, number two is the hardest. Once those things done, firmly done in your heart, rest of the success academy, rest of the ace of success is to follow. Okay, so now in your mind, you already decide with Atomy, I'm going to become Imperial Master and I'm gonna make 100,000. Nothing's gonna stop me until I do that. Then what do you need to do? You need to think about all the people who you can share Atomy. But when you do that, my biggest mistake is I really didn't know how to do a list up. So I only write down the people that who I thought they might be interested in a business. But we'll see 100%. What all the leaders has mentioned. List up is a people who can use Atomy toothbrush, people who can take him or him, people who can change their laundry detergent to Atomy. Doing Atomy business or not, it's their later story. We cannot talk about business when they haven't even tried the product. I also share from my experience that people jump into business knowing that there is no fee involved. They haven't even tried a product, but they're just keep on going out. You know what? Just register. There's no membership fee. You can join and you're gonna make money. There's no business like that. So when you list up the write down the number of people, any name, any people. If you don't remember the name, I remember what Par has mentioned. Okay, if there's a certain laundromat or dry cleaner they usually go, if she's nice, if she's smiling to you, you don't know her name, then just write a name, dry cleaner lady. You don't have to know the name. If there's a certain grocery store that you go to, the owner is very nice, then just write the grocery store around the corner. Anybody that you can go and share Atomy product. Don't categorize as people. I'm going to share a business. Business comes after they actually gave try with the product. And when you list up, don't prejudge what that means. Law of your mind, whether they're gonna sign up to become a member or they decided to do a business, it's their decision. Doesn't matter how well you present. You cannot really force them to become a member or use the product or become a business person, right? Only thing we do, share. They cannot stop us share, right? I can share to anybody that I want to. But whether they're gonna be a member, business person, is their decision. Just like a CEO Hungry part mentioned, law of own mind. It's their decision. We just have to do our part. So if you remember that, you shouldn't get scared of getting rejections. And what else? The amazing quote from CEO Hungry Park. If you want to achieve something challenging in your life, make them happen in an intensive manner. Right? By CEO Hungry Park. Okay, so once you have all the list, all the people that you want to share at me, and one more thing. For the list up, let's say for now, I only have 50 people on my list. Oh, I only have 50 people on my phone book. So which means how can I grow my Atomy business? This list up, it's a list of people, it's not limited. Even this list up should be grow every day. Okay. And if you have done with your warm contact, that's what CEO Hungry part include what? Go 100. Go 100. It's a part of this ASAP to success list up. I don't have any warm contacts anymore. I have no list of people that I can share at me. Then you go out and meet strangers. That's what CEO Hungry Park asked us to go out 100. And once you have all those people listed down, what do? You start inviting them to where? You can invite them for a home party. You can invite them for center meetings. You can invite them for our Zoom meetings. You can invite them for product day, and you can invite them to Success Academy. So any success system that we have, you can invite them to those places. Okay. And I told you from my experience and all the leaders or all the partners that I know, invitation not easy. I believe it took me around 4 or 5 months for me to bring at least one member to attend a one-day seminar with me. But when I see many of you, including Minnie, Tammy, Elena, I notice that you're able to bring those people to come to one-day seminar. Bravo to all of you. It was so challenging for me to bring people to attend the meeting with the center and bring them to one-day seminar. So don't be discouraged when they say no, because I'm telling you, invitation, not easy. It is very, very, very hard. Okay. But let's see, invitations, not only one place, there are many places you can invite, right? You can even invite them for, just a one-on-one meeting with a sponsor. But let's see what's the 100%. It is important that you committed to a certain number of phone calls a day consistently. The keyword here, consistently. What is really considered working is to make phone call, meet with people, and attending training. So he mentioned again, consistency is important. Okay. Okay. Once you invite them, why are you inviting? You're inviting them to talk about either product, compensation, share the Atomy vision. If you're not really sure what to share with the Atomy vision, share why you chose Atomy, why you're doing it at Atomy, right? Even though you don't know the company vision, you can share that portion, right? The reason you pick Atomy. I hated network marketing, but why I pick Atomy? I was already working full time, but why I decided to quit and focus on acting. So I noticed that people actually can relate it to more with your personal stories. So, they create, 1 minute or 3 minute, 5 minute, your personal stories, why you decided to do Atomy and what you believe that you're gonna achieve it in Atomy. People will get motivated with your personal story. Okay. So with that people that you invited, what do? You explain the business, but what are you going to explain? All the four categories here. But one thing you have to understand, you don't have to be a professional presenter. That's the one thing. We see except Imperial Master number 13, we see all that 12 Imperial Masters, they were bankrupt. Right? I'm sure nobody wanted to listen to their stories. Right? And some of the Imperial Master, they only graduate from elementary school. So even in their academic levels, it's not it's much lower than some other partners or members. But in Atomy, it doesn't really matter, right? Because we're not really looking for your presentation skill. People are looking how much you really into this product, how much this product really worked for you, and how much you fell in love with Atomy, and what belief that you have it in Atomy. Because when you don't have a belief in Atomy, you just want to keep on recruit people, people can tell. Oh, she just sharing the product, or she would just want me to buy so she can make money. Oh, she just want me to join the business so she can, she can be easy and she gonna make money out of my hard work. People can tell when you share from your sincere experience, your belief in it at me, people more falling for your personal stories. Okay. And to learn how to present, that's why we're asking volunteers for Tuesday meetings or even Saturday at the center. And for you joining consistently, you can hear and you can make it as your presentations. Okay. So after you explain the business, what do? Follow up. And remember, there's another word, follow up, follow through. So follow up, something you do instantly. And see part always, I love the number. See part, remember 48 hours rule. So what do? After a member got the product from you, that's it. For example, I introduced a Hemohim and this member actually got Hemohim from me. So within 48 hours, I messaged this person, were you able to try Hemohim? I mean, any experience? How do you like the taste? Follow up. And if I had a meeting with a one member within 48 hours, ask them, oh, remember we had a meeting the other day. How did you like it? I mean, you want to give it a try with the product? You want to have another meeting? So follow up within 48 hours and follow through something you do it after. But something you do it for a long period of time. Why do we follow through? Because we want to create the people that we have registered to make them what? Auto consumers. How you become auto sales master, how you can accelerate to your success in anatomy, it relies on how many auto consumers that you have. You need to focus on having the auto consumers. Those auto consumers have a potential to become a business partner. How to is it easy to make an auto consumer? Not really easy. Sometimes you really need to follow up for an year. You need to follow up consistently for 6 months. Sometimes it takes time for us to make one individual member to become an auto consumer. But compared to before, I find that it's how can I say easy? I would say easier, but it takes less time to make them switch them to auto consumer because now there's an app. People love using app. To me, like using app or using the website, it's the same thing. But to so many people, oh, you have an app? Okay, so let me download the app. Okay, and then they make an easy transaction with the purchases. So as long as they know how to purchase on their own, and they start sharing their experiences, consider as an auto consumer. So you need a lot of auto consumers in your lineage. All right, we just don't want any members just by register by their name. We want customers who will access either app, right? Website or app to get their product they need. Okay, what the follow-up? The 300 mentioned here. Make a phone call within 48 hours. I mean, it can be a phone call or a text message or WhatsApp. Meeting to check up on a new member. You really need to clear the doubt. The keyword here, why are we following up within 48 hours? To clear the doubts. Because not everything you have said, they're not going to believe 100%. But if there's any doubt or is there any question, it's a great chance for you to clear it out. Okay, so for them to have a great image and anatomy, right, about the product and business explanation by calling them quickly and reassuring them. By who? By us, by CEO Hanky Park. Okay. Number seven, consultation. Consultation can be done in many different forms. Consultation, you can also, I mean, in other words, we can say, you can whine. You can call your sponsor, you can whine. Oh, yeah, I got a bad rejection today. I try so hard, but I'm not getting your sales. It's a part of a consultation. So you don't have to worry like, oh, is it me talking about negative stuff? I mean, of course, you're not gonna whine or you're not gonna complain to your partners, right? Your downline partners, but to your sponsors, you're allowed. That's what 0%. You're allowed to do that. Okay, because even just one day or even like a month, your sponsor's been there longer than you have. And to us, what consider as a sponsor? Let's say I've been introduced to Atomy from, let's say, Mary. Mary introduced me to Atomy, so I register Atomy. However, Mary isn't attending meeting. Mary isn't plugged into success system. Then to me, Mary is not my sponsor. Yes, if you start sharing your thoughts or you're sharing your challenges, maybe your sponsors can share their struggles too. This is what struggle I faced and this is how I overcome. So it's not always that your sponsor story can relate it to you, but at least you can learn something from it. So I already talked about the definition of the sponsor who is plugged into the system, right? Not person who introduced that to me, right? And the importance of having a consultation. What it says here, I don't know anymore because they don't have a list of people. Write out that list together, create a consultation log for each person on the list and help contacting their network. Oh, since we're talking about the consultation, I'm just going to add one thing which I completely forgot to mention when I was going over Imperial Master number 5, Gwangyul Park. Sorry, I changed his last name, Gwangyul Kim. When we had a special lecture, he talked about he had a customer log. Oh, that's something he never shared before. Remember, he was sharing at least 300 people every day for a month. So that's why he ended up having that 50 to 60 customers. So he created a log for those 50 customers. So people are asking so he said, I'm sure you want to know what I actually write down on the log. Okay, so today, May 22nd, 1 p.m., I met up with this Paul and we talked about him and he asked me, so he summarized the meeting. And he said the reason he's doing that, so next time when they have meeting, he knows where he needs to catch up, where he needs to retouch. So since he had a habit of doing that, I'm sure he actually make his partners duplicate, which I'm going to talk about later, duplicate what he was doing. Yes. I mean, he did that for 50 customers that he had. So he wouldn't miss out any details. And actually, he said that log helped him to make them not only big buyers, later business partners. Because since he remembered the conversation they had, or the important personal matters they discussed, people understand he remembered, he cares. So people open their heart to Imperial Master Kwangil Kim. Oh, he's a person, listen tentatively and, care about me. If I have to do a business, I'll do a person like him. So I think it was a great business tip that we got. So if like of course, when you have 1,000 consumers who are already buying already, you cannot do that. But in the beginning, right, or even when you struggle of making order consumers, if you have a certain number of consumers, make a log. And then just by looking at it, you know who to follow up, you know who to contact. Okay. And with another consultation, no one will register as member. I think that's a common that's a common the struggle that many people have. You did not explain about the Atomics company's vision. I mean, that's what's your Hangul Park side. But when I mentioned this, some people say, no, that's not true. But luckily now, I think Mike mentioned it too, that he helped us to understand what that easy purchase is. So if nobody wants to register, that's okay. Forget about membership. Don't push them to become a member, right? Even after they become a member, if they don't buy anything, I told them I don't want to mess up my lineage. They don't want to be a member. However, they want to try the product that use the system that Atomy created it. Right? So don't go crazy over registering members. If they don't want to register, fine. Just let them try the product. Because more likely, once they try the product, they know there's nothing to lose to become a member, they will sign up. But now Atomy include that easy purchase. Even non-member can purchase the product. Introduce that. Oh, but I love this one. See, there's hardly any sales. I'm sure this is a common problem for a lot of people. But what he said, those people who complain about there's hardly any sales, the person themselves are not repeat consumers. They're just keep on registering and saying, there's no membership, just sign up, just sign up. However, they're not really sharing the product experience. They're not really sharing how much they love their products. So consumers or members who are registering, they're not that excited to try the product. So you need to be a user first. That's what Seo Hyun says. So we cannot start talking about business unless you give it a try with the product. Right? If you don't like it, that's okay. See 100%. You like the product. If you don't like, or you try the product, but you can find product something cheaper than Atomy, you don't have to do the business. That's how honest, that's like wide open, CEO Hangin Park, right? He's not asking everybody to do business. If you don't like the product, or if you think that you can find product cheaper than Atomy, you don't have to do Atomy business. Because people can tell that how much you are in love with Atomy. Okay, so, but one thing that I'm positive that members who have joined the meeting tonight, you all have tried and you all love Atomy products. And lastly, duplication. If duplication cannot be done, Atomy business become really challenging. That's one not only CEO Hunky Park mentioned. That's what Imperial Master number 2 Doug Lee mentioned also. Without duplication, forget about Imperial Master. Forget about all those income from Atomy. When duplication happens, let's say, for example, I attend the one-day seminar. I go out and share to at least 30 people a day. I attend regular Zoom meetings and I follow up 5 people a day. If there are 10 members, right? Let's say 10 members duplicate what I do. It means in my group, I share to 30 people. 10 people are doing it, 300 people being shared by Atomy under my group. So this duplication, I believe this time Imperial Master Kang Yel Kim explained a bit differently. He mentioned about Atomy, think it as a franchise business. In order for you to make other franchise do great, head office. Who's the head office? Me, you, all of us. We are the head office. Since this head office need to do a good job, so all the franchise can duplicate, follow our footstep. So that's how important duplication is. So let's say, oh, you know what? I have a birthday party to go, but there's a one-day seminar. Oh, should I go birthday party? Should I go one-day seminar? You know what? Forget about one-day seminar this time. I'll just go to birthday party. How scary duplication? Next time when your partner encounter the same situation, my sponsor didn't come because she needs to go to birthday party. You know what? She did it, so I can do it too. That's a duplication. But you know what? Today is very special event for my family, but I know I love Atomy. I know I can give them a lot of love later. I can provide them more things later, but now I just want to focus on Atomy. So despite attending that, I came to Atomy one-day seminar or I attended a meeting. Then your partners will remember. Oh, I remember my sponsor mentioned that she's supposed to attend this important family meeting, but for Atomy, she gave up on that. Maybe I need to follow the footstep to become a leader like that person or become a leader like leaders in Atomy. Okay, so that's how important duplication is. So before you do anything, before you say anything, think about, okay, what if my partner duplicate this one? Should I say it or should I act it this way? Okay, so once duplication is happening, that's when you have a lot of leaders in your group, and that's when you're going to experience that exponential growth in your business. Right? So do exactly like a success people did when they first started. That's why Atomy create Road to Success section at one-day seminar. Make up your mind to follow in their footstep for good duplication. The original version must also be good. So that's how I mentioned before you do anything, think about if I do this, will it be good for my partners? If they duplicate this, what's going to happen to my business? right? So if you don't see yourself as a good example to your partners, you must change. That's a keyword here. Change the original version of yourself. So through Atomy, what do we need to do? We need to become a better version of ourselves. So by who? By CEO Hangi Park. So I quickly went over A Step to Success, and